let us come to two more problems of the pediatric cardiology, and then we are over with this section. So first of all is the hypertension. So hypertension has 3-4 terms which you need to remember in children. So first is your pre-hypertension. What is pre-hypertension? Pre-hypertension is when systolic or diastolic blood pressure is between 90 and 95th centile. So I'll write it down for you. Systolic or diastolic blood pressure is between 90, okay, just a minute, 90 or 95th centile. I'll again repeat this. Pre-hypertension is systolic or diastolic blood pressure is between 90 and 95th centile, right? Then next is the hypertension. What is hypertension? Definitely it is when same systolic or diastolic blood pressure is more than the 95th centile. Is this clear to you? Okay, it is clear, right? Then this hypertension is of two types. Stage 1 hypertension, stage 1, and this is stage 2 hypertension, right? So let me write what is stage 1 hypertension. Stage 1 hypertension is when systolic or diastolic blood pressure, okay, systolic or diastolic blood pressure is between 95th to 99th centile plus 5 mmHg. This is stage 1 hypertension. And stage 2 hypertension is when systolic or diastolic blood pressure is more than 99 centile, right, plus 5 mmHg, right. So this you should know, certain characteristics of blood pressure. Now there are certain norms to be followed when measuring blood pressure in children. Like I'll just tell you that the cuff width, number 1, okay, so this is it. Number 1, the cuff width used should be 50 to 75% of arm circumference. Very, very important. You have to remember this. These are all, potential MCQs. All have come in your previous year questions. So, therefore, you should remember this. In neonates, we use something of 2.5 centimeter width. In infants, just double it. That is 5 centimeter. Okay. Then in 1 to 8 years, we use again almost double it. It is 9 centimeters. And in older children, that is above 8 years, in more than 8 years, we use around 12.5 centimeters width. So these you should know. These are the cuff width size you should know. Okay. Then let us come to certain, I'll put up some case scenarios in front of you. See, you will get a list of disorders getting, presented to you with hypertension anywhere. In every book it is there, and such an exhaustive list is there. If I just go through the list, you will also get bored. So I'll put certain case scenarios for you, how they come in exams and how you have to guess what are the particular features. And these all case scenarios, usually they present to you with hypertension, right? Okay, so then let us come to this. So, child comes to you with pale mucous membranes, edema, growth retardation, right? And has some kidney problems also, right? So, this is most likely we are dealing with CRF. And of course, there is a hypertension. Hypertension is accompanying each one of them. So, this is most likely chronic renal failure. Then you have a child presenting to you with elephant facies, poor growth retardation, and you also have, I'll write it down for you, supravalvular AS. Anything comes to your mind? Of course, you've guessed it right. This is Williams syndrome. Please remember, along with your hypertension also. So, this is Williams syndrome. Then we have webbing of neck. We have low hairline. We have widespread nipples. You have wide carrying angle, right? And this is a girl child with hypertension. Of course, this everything has hypertension with it. Sorry. So, plus hypertension. Right, and here also hypertension. So, webbing of neck, low hairline, widespread nipples, wide carrying ankle, what comes to your mind? Full marks to you for guessing. It is Turner syndrome, right? So, this is Turner syndrome. Then you have moon phase, buffalo hump, hirsutism, truncal obesity with hypertension, with stria. This is nothing but Cushing syndrome, right? Okay, then let us move on to the other this thing. So, we have cafe au lait spots and neurofibromas. Of course, we are dealing with and plus hypertension, of course, neurofibromatosis. We are going to read up this in detail in our CNS section. Tubers, ash leaves, macules, right? So, this is tuberous sclerosis for you. Numerous features you will get, but I don't want to, burden you with findings right now. We are going to read up in neurocutaneous syndromes, all these. Then we have rashes with hypertension. So, when you have rashes with hypertension, the first thing that comes to my mind, if it is a butterfly rash on the face, of course, there's going to be SLE. Then you can have rashes with hypertension if there is on external surfaces of external lower limbs, buttocks, rashes involved, right? So, this can be HSP. Please remember this. This also I'm going to teach you. If you have, impetigo, skin infections, right, with hypertension, or previous history of impetigo, a skin infection, and now present to you with hypertension, this is nothing but acute glomerulonephritis, also known as post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Please remember this, a very important disorder from your MCQ point of view. Now, if a child presents to you with hypertension and which has pallor and evanescent flushing, evanescent means vanishing, flushing comes and goes, right, with excessive sweating. So, you are definitely dealing with pheochromocytoma, right. So, this is pheochromocytoma for you, right. Okay, then you have absent or diminished femoral pulses and low blood pressure in the legs relative to the upper limbs. Of course, you are dealing with none other than coarctation of aorta. We have read this in detail. So, there are bounding pulses in the upper limbs and which leads to hypertension. These are actually these children, they present to you later in life actually with features of hypertension, headache, and they come to light that this is coarctation of aorta, right. Then you have something called epigastric bruit with hypertension. So, what all comes to your mind? So, this can be a primary renovascular disease. Let us see this, renovascular disease. This can be the reason. What else can be the reason is the Williams syndrome. Once again, Williams syndrome can be there. Then neurofibromatosis can be there. Neurofibromatosis. You can also have any kind of arthritis. Specifically, if I tell you, Takayasu's arthritis can present in such a manner. Hypertension. Actually, these Takayasu's children also, they come to light because of the features of hypertension. And of course, you can have fibromuscular dysplasia. Now, the next section is my personal favorite, abdominal masses with hypertension. Again, very commonly asked in your exam. So, what all should come to your mind is polycystic kidney disease, very important. Then hydronephrosis should come to your mind, very, very important. Then Wim's tumor should come to your mind, Wim's tumor. Then neuroblastoma should come to your mind, neuroblastoma, right? And then what else? What else I can think of is, I think more or less we are done with everything. I have written hydronephrosis, Wim's tumor, neuroblastoma. Of course, yes, one more I have written, and this is pheochromocytoma. Pheochromocytoma. Even this will present with abdominal mass and so these are all the this thing. Okay, then if we have neurological deficits with hypertension, then what should come to your mind is chronic or severe acute hypertension with stroke, right? So, chronic or acute, and acute has to be severe, right? Hypertension with stroke. And of course, if you have ambiguous genitalia, virilized genitalia, then what should come to your mind is congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Don't worry, we are going to read up CH in detail, and I promise you, you will end up loving CH because I'm going to make it very simple for you. So, there are some disorders, L17 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, which will present to you with hypertension, right? Okay, now let us do a MCQ. So, commonest cause of hypertension in children is it renal parenchymal, is it renovascular, is it coarctation of aorta, or is it Takayasu's arthritis? We should know this. The commonest cause is renal parenchymal disease. Please remember this, right?